Kentucky back on the field, and then Ray Davis, all day Ray. Man, oh man, is Davis doing it up.
This is Tootin taking it to his left, got a seam. Facial Tootin on the move, got some alleys out there. Beef, touchdown!
Back shoulder throw, he's got it. It's Tez Johnson. Johnson, call him Johnson, touchdown.
Is their defense. Little hole there to the right side, first down and then some. Jeremiah Love, touchdown Notre Dame.
It's Williams in motion, low snap, Melrose stopped. Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Week 0 podcast. Of course, we're coming on when the shit hit the fan. So, we're just trying to ignore what happened and just think about better times. We have, 2 days before college football?
25
becomes available early.
Yep.
So I'm actually, while we do this, I should do this. While we're talking, I'm going to go and pre-order this game.
Oh, okay. You waited that long.
Well, I just haven't gotten it yet. I mean, I just got paid today, and I had the money, so.
And by the way, for the people watching, we are going to be, me and Lucas, I know, are going to be streaming whenever the minute that game drops on the channel. So
should I pay the $100 for the 3-day early access?
Yes. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting 3 extra days. Which, by the way, I'm so mad that they did, like, Bordeaux and all these other YouTubers already leaked out, like, the Dynasty and the Road to Glory and all this stuff because...
And also how VT's jerseys got leaked.
Yeah, I just hate it because it's like I didn't want to know, like I didn't want to see how it looked and how it played out until I picked up the game. So now it's kind of ruined for me because now it's all over Twitter. But it is what it is, I guess. But
Donovan Edwards dominated Bordeaux, by the way.
Oh yeah, Bordeaux. I don't know what Bordeaux was doing.
Trash.
Bro, that Penn State team looked terrible.
Yo, it was so.
Bordeaux didn't know how to play a game to begin with.
So accurate to real life that they couldn't beat Michigan or the other states.
And it is accurate. Donovan Edwards, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. I mean, seems pretty accurate.
So how you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we are doing oh, sorry. Josh isn't here, but he's in the comments for some reason. Lol.
Yeah, I know.
So
already
today we're going to do our preview of the Big 12. So a lot of new teams.
Go Blue.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 new teams. After losing 2 teams this offseason, they add 4. So it's weird not seeing Oklahoma and Texas in this anymore. Obviously,
they don't need them because they're getting Florida State and Clemson, evidently.
In Notre Dame.
Oh, the Big 12. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Nah, the Notre Dame stuff. Why would we join the Big 12? That makes no sense for us.
No geographic sense?
Well, just no sense in general. Why would we have no rivals in the Big 12? We're not we would probably dominate the Big 12 as it is. I mean, the best team that we would play is probably what? Kansas State, Utah. I mean, we the last two times we played Kansas State and Utah, we blew them out. So
you guys would lose to Colorado.
You wish, Phil.
That's
But anyway, let's start this off, Connor.
Okay, so I have it as 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, 13 through 16. honestly don't know who's who in terms of. I don't know why seeing all these teams. I feel like you could almost all of them could just be super mid. I don't know why. It just feels like that. Maybe that's just me. Because, it's weird not having Oklahoma and Texas there. But none of these teams feels like a really big-time CFP contender, if that makes sense.
There's one. I know one, but we'll get to it later.
Okay.
All right. Arizona. Go ahead, Connor. Where do you think Arizona finishes?
Dude, I don't even. I literally spent the last half an hour putting these together, so I have no idea how any of these teams did last year. I don't know shit. So, Arizona football. We're looking this up. 2023. They were third. They finished third last year. Oh, right. They did good last year.
Yeah, they were really good.
They probably one of the best quarterbacks in the conference.
Best QBs. I think they're top 4. Maybe. I don't know. They still have the same QB, so I definitely think they're good. I can't remember what's his name. I remember. He was one of my big. He was one of my big. Stunners of the week 2 years ago when he lit up USC for like 500 yards passing.
You're talking about Noah Fafita.
Yes, Fafita. Yes, Fafita. Yeah, he's probably one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. I like what they've done. They've turned themselves around. They were terrible 2-3 years ago. They finished as high. I think they were like 11th in the country to finish the season last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they starting that 11 to 15.
Yeah, I mean,
in preseason.
Their last bowl game, they got to send Oklahoma off.
Yeah,
out of the Big 12 with an ass whooping. So
they finished 10-3 last year. Let me see what their schedule looks like this year. It's probably not that tough. You guys talk it over while I get their schedule.
Okay, so for me personally, I think Arizona. I'm very high on Arizona. I think they're a top 5 team in the conference. Looking at their schedule, I think I could see like 9-3, 10-2. But I mean, you have Noah Fafita, who arguably is the best quarterback in that conference outside of maybe Shedeur, and Avery Johnson and Jalen Daniels. So I mean, I'm going top 5 for Arizona. I just don't know if I'm ready to put them in that top 4 tier.
I agree with Ryan here. I think they are. I could see them going 10-2. I think the toughest games on their schedule are actually like back to back. Maybe a bye week in between Kansas State and Utah, right?
Yeah.
So I think those are the toughest.
3 and 4. So that's right at the beginning of the season. So they have a very early bye.
Yeah, 3 and 5. And I think both of those are road games for them. So that would be tough. But I think if they could if they split one of those games, then I could see them only losing maybe the other game. So I think 11-1, 10-2 is possible. But it's hard to say that they're going to be one of the 4 best 2 because there are some decent teams here. I mean, Kansas State, Utah are going to be tough. I think UCF is going to be okay.
Without John Rice Plumlee?
Yeah, you know how I feel about him.
Thank God we don't have Josh here because he hates 3 names quarterbacks. Remember?
And Kansas is going to be tough. So yeah, I mean, there's some teams there, but I think they could. I like them 1 through 4.
Yeah, Lucas. He sent me his. He has Arizona in the top 3. So. Connor, you're kind of the deciding factor here.
I think they're top 4. That's why I had him to begin with. We'll move them around obviously once we have more in place, but I definitely think having probably the best quarterback, other than Shedeur, it's probably Shedeur, Sanders, honestly, and then probably Fafita is probably the second best in the conference. I feel, but it'll be interesting to see how they obviously adjust, coming into a new conference. We'll see. ASU. What was their record last year?
Terrible.
3-9. Oh God, 3-9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they lost Jaden Rashada.
Oh, I forgot they had Rashada.
No,
Yeah,
they
I think
lost
they're.
him.
No, I know that's what I mean. I forgot
Yeah.
he was even on that team. Yeah, I think for now, put him there for now.
Bottom tier.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean their schedule this year. It's they get Mississippi State.
That's
which
a
is
loss.
not going to be that. That's a loss at home. Their hardest stretch is so it looks like this includes preseason rankings. They play Kansas and then Utah back to back. Both at home though, but both of those right now, Utah is apparently preseason ranked 10th. Kansas is
they're
27th, and Arizona is 11th, and K-State's 20. So and Oklahoma State 17. So they get a bunch of ranked teams on their conference schedule, and that's going to suck. I think 2-3 wins again. It's going to be a tough season, I think, for them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's not too much to say about Arizona State. They had a good freshman quarterback in Jaden Rashada before he got injured last year. Now that they lost him, I don't see any way that Arizona State's competitive. So yeah, bottom tier for me.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I think they belong in the bottom tier. It's not much on a positive side I can see for them this season. So yeah.
Okay. Baylor last year was also 3-9. They finished the season on a 3-game losing streak. And this year,
who did they get in the transfer portal? They got somebody in the transfer portal at quarterback.
Well, I know who they don't have, and that's my quarterback, Kyron Drones.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers fucked up. Okay, my other question is, do we have them below or above ASU?
Oh, so okay. They're above ASU. DeQuan Finn, the quarterback from Toledo, transferred to Baylor. So he was one of the top transfer quarterbacks available. So I trust Dave Aranda.
Honestly, I think this could be a tough stretch. That after starting off with Tarleton State, they play at Utah, then they get Air Force, then they play at Colorado. I think that's a pretty decently tough stretch, depending on where we think on Colorado. But that's we all know how difficult it is having to prepare for the triple option and then having to switch back to preparing for a regular offense. 3 QBs are serial killers.
God forbid we ever have a player on any of our podcasts with three names.
No, God forbid Kentucky ever starts a 3-name quarterback. Josh, I think, would legit kill himself.
But yeah,
okay, what's your thoughts?
I think they're in the 9 to 12 range, probably at like 11 or 12. But I think they're improved from where they were last year, just because they have DeQuan Finn.
Okay.
Phil?
How do they feel?
Yeah, so I was looking at Baylor's schedule and I didn't see a lot of wins. I think they're better than ASU. But considering some of the teams we're going to put at the bottom, yeah, I mean, I would put them 13-16. I don't see a lot of wins.
I was leaning 13-16, so you lose Ryan. We'll put him there for now.
Yeah, Josh has them going 4-8. And so does Lucas.
Okay, BYU. They went 5-7 last year in their first year in the Big 12. This is their second year. The thing that we can all be happy about is we get the return of the Holy War with them playing Utah.
The Holy War.
Looking at their schedule, they play at SMU, at Wyoming, and then K-State back to back to back. That could be tough for us, especially having to play SMU, a team that we all think is going to be pretty good in the ACC. They get Arizona and Oklahoma back to back at home. and then they get Utah, Kansas, at Arizona State, and Houston to close out. I don't think they're going to be much improved. I see like maybe I dropped my phone. 4 to 5 wins. I don't know who they brought in. I'm not sure who they brought in, honestly, but I don't think they're gonna be that much improved.
Yeah, I don't think BYU is getting any better. I think they're in that bottom tier with Baylor and Arizona State. If I had to put them somewhere, actually, believe it or not, so Lucas is high on him. He has 7 and 5 for BYU.
Oh wow!
Josh has BYU at 3 and 9, so a pretty big disparity.
Yeah, I think they beat Baylor, which puts them in the 9 to 12 range. And I think that's going to be the difference of between 13 through 16, 9 and 12. I put them 9 through 12.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
They were god awful last year.
They were 3 and 9. They were 1 and 8 in the Big 12. They lost. Let me go through this right now. This includes Oklahoma because they played them. Only 2 of their loss. Sorry, only 3 of those losses were within a touchdown or within 1 possession. The others they got blown out by. They lost by 20 to Iowa State, 32 by Oklahoma State. 21 to West Virginia, got demolished by Kansas by 33. So, and lost by 14 to Oklahoma. So, honestly, I don't know who they brought in, but I feel like they're below Arizona State. Let me look at their schedule this year. Actually, give me a second. Towson, Pitt, Miami of Ohio. Okay, they could start 3-0. Honestly, and their hardest game is K-State. They don't play any ranked opponents, at least right now. I think actually they could finish. I think their schedule is advantageous. It's not they're avoiding Kansas, Oklahoma State, Utah, all the teams that are and Arizona, all the teams that are expected to be really good in this conference. So I think that's advantageous. I think they can improve maybe to 4 or 5 wins because their non-con is pretty easy. That's where I see that.
Yeah. I personally have Cincinnati at 13 to 16 range. I don't think they've gotten any better. They lost their best edge rusher in the portal, Ben Bryant. I can't remember if he's coming back. I don't have faith in Cincinnati. So I put them in the 13 to 16.
I agree. Okay. I think if they had a game against Notre Dame, maybe they would win.
Do we put them above Baylor and ASU though?
I would put them above Baylor.
Lucas and Josh have them at 5 and 7 and 4 and 8, so that would put them around
9 to 12.
Yeah.
All right. And now Colorado. We just need one more for the 13 through 16.
Not going to be Colorado.
Is it going to be Colorado, or is it not going to be Colorado?
Not going to be Colorado.
Okay. I know you're not a fan of Colorado, but their schedule is kind of hard. I mean, they
got North Dakota State.
Well, to end the season, they get Utah, at Kansas, and Oklahoma State back to back. I don't know if they take a step forward, maybe if they kind of improve a little bit. But obviously, the big game is North Dakota State. Then they play at Nebraska. We get to see if they can beat Colorado State by more than 3 points. And then they play Baylor. I think they'll take that step, maybe a slight step forward. Maybe 5 wins because they were 4 and 8 last year.
Yep.
Maybe 5, maybe 6. If they play the way I think they play, I could see them be 5-0 going into their bye week after week 5.
So you mean to tell me we got to deal with another Deion and Colorado hype train after starting undefeated again?
Yeah, but this would be a little bit more believable. That was what they were like 3-0 last year, and then they got smacked by Oregon. They'd be 5-0, and they'd be going to the bye week and then have K-State on the other side. So, plus I do think Shedeur is definitely the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, I'm going 6-6 for Colorado. I think their ceiling is like 8-4. So I think that 9-12 range suits them very well. They're early on, their schedule is very manageable, but after that, it's a slugfest.
Those last three games, if they're sitting at like 4 or 5 wins, and they need to win 2 of those, like 1 or 2 of those to make
a bowl game.
Is going to be very difficult, I think.
Well, if they're sitting at 4 or 5 wins when they get to those last 3 games, then this season was another failure.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Because they, like you said, they probably should be 4-1, 5-0 to start the season. Arizona, that game. Where's that game at? The Arizona game. I think it's at Arizona.
Let me go back.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough.
Oh, is that Arizona?
I don't think they get out of that one unscathed. They'll beat Cincinnati. They'll beat Texas Tech, I think. And then those last 3, I think they could lose all 3 of those. In fact, I'm sure they won't be favored in any of those games.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird how, looking back at this, how the teams that joined the conference last year, Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, and UCF did. I don't know what UCF did, but Houston, Cincinnati, BYU all sucked. Like they.
Well, UCF was actually a decent team. I think they went.
No, I know, but like it was like surprising to see Houston, Cincinnati, and BYU struggle as much as they did. You know what I mean?
Well, Cincinnati had just lost Luke Fickell. They lost basically everybody from those CFP teams. Houston, I think, and BYU got caught up in actually transferring to an actual conference.
Yeah. Houston went 4-8, finished 2-7 in the conference. They beat Baylor.
Houston should have beat Texas. If you guys all remember that game,
They should have. Yep.
Yeah, they should have beat Texas.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they should have. What's their schedule this year? I'm looking up on the FBS schedules website. Give me a second. Ooh, okay. So they get to play at Oklahoma week 2. Fun.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then they play Rice, Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU. Oh God. They get at Kansas, home for Utah, home for K-State, a bye week, and then at Arizona.
Yeah, Houston's gonna suck again this year.
That's difficult. I mean, I could see maybe. I think they'll do better than Cincy. I think that 9-12 range. I think they can stack a few wins early, below Colorado, but they get UNLV, then they get Rice, Cincinnati, so they could be like 3-1 before playing Iowa State and TCU. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd keep Houston where you got him, but I'd drop BYU because I think I like Houston more than I like BYU, and we need one more team for that 13-16 spot.
Okay.
And I don't see. I'm not ranking any of the other teams in that's left. I don't know about you guys in the 13-16 range.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, I think Houston. I think they'll be a little bit improved. Because I think Houston as a program they're a very talent-rich state. They always recruit very well. But we'll just have to see. But I think they go like 5-7 this year. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, Houston, I don't like a lot, either. I think they lose that 4-game stretch they have there in the middle. But I also like them a little more than BYU. So, everybody can't be 13-16.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but you think that's fine, 9-12? Do you think it's okay to have Colorado above them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Colorado it could realistically go 7-5, 8-4.
Yeah.
I think we'll see how the rest goes. I feel like for some reason Colorado's going to be in that 5-8 range sooner or later once we get through the rest of the conference. Okay, Iowa State. Last year they were 7-6. They struggled. They had like a nice 3 or 4 game win streak in there, and then lost like 2 of their last 3 or 2 of the last 4 or something to end the season. Hardest game at Kansas. They get at Kansas, Cincinnati, at Utah, and then K-State to close out the season, to close out the regular season. So that's probably their hardest stretch. I think they'll be okay. They get Iowa, of course, so we get to see the El Assico, of course. So that's always fun to watch.
Wasn't that game like last year, like 13-10?
Yeah,
I thought it was like
at Iowa this
6-3.
year. It's at Iowa this year, so we get to really enjoy the shittiness. So that's gonna be fun. I think 6 to 7 wins seems right. That stretch at the end. That stretch at the end will show who they truly are. That Kansas, Cincinnati, at Utah, and then K-State to close out the season. That's really pissing me off, though, that we're seeing like these rival games not be the last week of the season like rivalry week should be anymore. That really pisses me off. You know what I mean? Anyway, a little old man rambling. I'm gonna go. I think they're gonna be at the top of 9 through 12, maybe at bottom of 5 through 8. Like right, I think they're either 8 or 9. They're right in the very middle of the conference, I think.
Yeah, I think Iowa State is literally the Big 12's version of Iowa with a slightly better offense. Because Phil, for Big 12 standards, Iowa State arguably has the best defense besides maybe Kansas State and Utah. So, I mean, they got a top 3 defense. That's what they're known for. That's going to get them to 6-6 again. Just because some teams don't play defense, and the few that do, it's I think they win some games. But I think the 9 through 12 for Iowa State is I think that's good. But I personally put them behind Colorado.
Oh, okay. Let's see what Phil has to say.
Oh, Phil, you're muted.
Yeah, I think Iowa State belongs right there in the 9 through 12. I don't think they play Colorado this season. Right?
No, they don't. I don't think they did. Let me check that real quick.
I would
do.
put them.
No, wait. No, that's K-State.
Yeah, I would put them behind Colorado myself because I do think Colorado has the potential to be in the next tier.
You both have said that, so I will follow through on that. You both said the same thing of having Colorado ahead of them. That's fair. All right. Any other thoughts on Iowa State? Phil, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Okay. K-State, the defending conference champs, finished 9-4 last year. It's always weird to see a conference winner with 4 losses. 3 in the regular season. Let's see. I'm looking through the schedule. It's not that bad. Yeah, it's weird. They played Kansas in the middle of October, at the very end of October, instead of like at the end of the season. That's weird.
Typically when they play.
Oh, really? I'm so used to that's so weird. Anyway, they have a chance. They have a chance, depending on how that game goes, to close out pretty good because they get 4 teams that are probably they're well in the bottom half of the conference. They get at Houston, Arizona State, Cincinnati, at Iowa State to close out the season. So I think they can. I think they're probably the one. I think they're top 1 or 2. I think they're ahead of Arizona.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll do that. I think they are the best chance, maybe one other team, of getting a team of or of being a playoff contender. Obviously, with the 12 teams, we'll see how that works out. Obviously, with at-large bids, but I could see 9+ wins again. Easy.
Yeah, I think Kansas State goes 11-1 or 10-2. Schedule's not too hard. I think that Avery Johnson is a big question mark because I think he's really talented. He was a very highly sought after recruit. They pushed out good old Will Howard to Ohio State for this kid.
About that. I forgot about Mr.
so-
Howard.
So basically, what we're saying is Ohio State got Kansas State sloppy seconds. But anyway, yeah, I think Kansas State. I think they're a top 4 team this year for sure in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think they're a top 4 team. So 3 losses can happen for them, but I guess 3 losses in the Big 12 is not that bad considering. But yeah, I think they're a top 4 team.
Where is the Kansas State game this year? Is it in Kansas or is it at Kansas State?
It's in Kansas State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to Kansas.
Kansas. Where did they go? My love affair with Jalen Daniels. They went 9-4 as well last year. Jalen Daniels is back again. My love affair with him will continue. I just love him, and he led me astray the past 2 years a little bit, unfortunately.
I think you got to like week 5 before he's not playing anymore.
But they actually won some games without him too, which was good. But
they went 9-4 with Jason freaking Bean as their starting quarterback.
Yeah, and they almost beat K-State. They lost by 4. They almost beat Texas Tech. Well, they lost by 4.
They beat Oklahoma.
So I think they're also top 4 getting Jalen Daniels back. Oh my God.
We're talking about Kansas football.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I think that's okay for now. I need to temper my love for Jalen Daniels though. So I think Fafita coming in is better passer, better QB overall than Daniels, unfortunately. So I'll keep it there for now. I think they're number 4 in that group.
Dude, I've never seen a 23-year-old have such bad back issues.
I mean, that just shows how much he was carrying. He legit was actually
carrying Kansas a couple years.
Yeah, the past 2 years or 3 years.
But no, I agree. I think they're a top 4 team. In my opinion, I have them in the Big 12 title game because of Jalen Daniels. I think that people forget just how good he was back in that 2022 season, where if we all remember correctly, 5 games into the season, heading into that TCU game, he was the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. It wasn't Caleb Williams at the time. Then he goes down like the first series against TCU. Kansas kind of the wheels fall off after that. But I really like this Kansas team. I think Lance Leipold is arguably a top 10 coach in college football, especially with what he's doing with what he has to work with at Kansas. I don't think there's anybody else in college football that's doing more with less than Leipold right now. But yeah, I think they're a top 2 team for me.
I think they're a top 1 through 4 team as well. I like him as well. I just wish he could play more football. Other than that, though, I agree with everything you guys said. Now, here's where it gets tricky. They have a spot in the early part of that schedule where they play a Big Ten team in Illinois, that powerhouse. And then they actually play an elite program in UNLV.
No, that was last year. Sorry, that was last year. My bad.
UNLV is an elite program.
They definitely are an elite program. Big time.
All right. But no, I think they're in the right spot.
Hey, I'm just glad I was the one who was able to break the news, Josh. I'm glad someone didn't beat me to the punch.
Fair with the D1 athlete.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay, who's next?
No, I will say, seriously, though, we were robbed of seeing what Jalen Daniels could have been healthy, which sucks as college football fans.
Well, wait, is he not starting again? Is he?
No, I'm saying we were robbed the last 2 years to see what he could have
Oh,
been.
yeah. No, I get what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Oklahoma State. What was their record last year? They were.
And we're in the Big 12 title game at 9-3.
Yeah, 10-4. Lost the Big 10 title game. No, that was 2 years ago where they came up a yard short, right?
No, they've been in the Big 12 title game the last 2 years.
No, but not last year, but the year before was the one where they literally.
Yeah. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago they lost.
They got tackled out of bounds, and if they had won, they would have gone to the CFP.
Yeah, then their participation trophy was beating Notre Dame in an NY6 Bowl.
No, that's no participation
Well,
trophy. That's
we all know
which
that's
adds
the best.
to the
We all
history
know
of
that's
Notre
the
Dame.
That's the best trophy you can get is a participation trophy, smacking the shit out of Notre Dame.
Oh, really? Beating us by 3 is smacking the
In a
shit
New
out
Year's
of us?
Six Bowl, because
In the New
you
Year's
guys
Six
haven't
Bowl,
won a
that's
New
what
Year's
makes it
Six Bowl.
That shows right there that Freeman picked up right where Brian Kelly left off, not being able to win.
That was his first game.
I don't
That
care.
was his first.
We don't care.
By the way-
do not care.
By the way, it's been like they haven't won a New Year's Six Bowl like longer than you've been alive.
Hey, New Year's Six Bowls haven't been relevant since the CFP started. I'm sorry.
Okay,
okay.
where do we think? Where do we think? Are they top 4 again?
No.
No.
They're good,
No,
but they're
no,
not
they're
top
not.
4.
Okay.
By the way, what's going on with Ollie Gordon's situation? Is he gonna get suspended?
Suspended for what?
A DUI?
Yeah, nah, he wasn't really drunk.
Hey, yeah, he wasn't really drunk, just like those
Oh,
Georgia players weren't really driving that
Damn
much.
it, man.
Hey, he got arrested, but he's got he's immune to it because of a I don't know, man. He's the Dope Walker Award winner, so he's immune to
Oh, I thought you said
being
dope
charged.
dope walker.
Dope Walker.
That fits very much with
He's
his
that
style.
too, right?
He is.
By the
that
way,
too, Dope Walker.
So I just looked this up. So no, Mike Gundy said his only punishment is that week 1, he might get 50 carries. That's his punishment for the DUI.
I like it.
Oh, hey coach, I need to come out. Nah, man, you got to get another carry, bro.
Is he a Heisman front runner for you guys?
I think he's a Heisman final. I mean, a front runner. I don't know about front runner. It's just so hard for a running back to win a Heisman. But I think he's definitely up there.
Okay. Cool. Next is TCU. They went 5-7 last year. Of course, losing that game to Colorado, making all of us think that Colorado was actually good when they were just shit. TCU. Are they the final team? I think they're the final team to round out this 9 through 12. I don't think they're going to take that much of a step forward. They might be in that 5 through 8. Let's see. Stanford.
Oh, no. You talking about TCU?
Sorry, Stanford. My bad. Wait, yeah, TCU.
TCU is a bottom tier team. They're 9 through 12. They were. Did you watch them at all last year?
Other than I'll fully to admit, other than the Colorado game, no.
You know what, Phil? You guys you might have had 2 natties back to back if Chandler Morris would have been starting for TCU in 2022, because that was the guy that was supposed to start.
Right.
Then he gets injured, and Max Duggan takes them to the national championship. And we saw what Chandler Morris was
Well,
last year.
First of all, a couple things. If my guy, he's been drafted now, but if he takes a better angle to actually make a tackle on that 4th down play, then we are probably back-to-back champs. Also, if they call the illegal hit in the back of a defensive player at the end of that game, we probably are back-to-back champs.
If they called Roman Wilson's butt touchdown.
Bro, clear touchdown. I don't know what they were doing. It's crazy.
Didn't you guys end up fumbling the next play
We did.
on the goal?
We did. Ridiculous, bro.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Okay. So TCU
Michigan doesn't beat Georgia in 2022. I think we do. I saw with the other state. The other state should have beat Georgia in 2022. Let's
If
start
Marvin
there.
Harrison Jr. didn't get injured, maybe.
I don't
Josh,
even
you missed-
beyond that.
We have Arizona that high because we believe in Noah Fafita quite a lot, and they were good last year. They went 9-4. Arizona.
How is Oklahoma State behind Kansas or Kansas State?
Oh, 9 Rams must like them.
Did you not hear what we had to say about them? Really not.
Well, I'll give them a so Oklahoma State they'll have a good defense. The issue with Oklahoma State is besides Ollie Gordon, name me another offensive weapon that they have. And the thing is, like, last year they lucked into a Big 12 title game because they were 9-3. They needed Oklahoma to lose the last week of the season to get in. So they didn't control their own destiny. And also people forget Oklahoma State. Yeah, they played for the Big 12 title game. I don't know if you guys remember this, but do you guys remember that when UCF blew them out like 49-0 last year?
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that weird game where Oklahoma State was ranked inside the top 10. They head to Orlando and they get the shit kicked in.
And that was
like they're so up and down for me. I don't buy it. But let's do Texas Tech.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me. Where's Texas? I need to find Texas Tech. Let me find their schedule. Okay. Last year they went 7-6. All right, they almost beat Oregon. I remember that game. Lucas was shitting bricks about that game. I forgot about that.
Do you remember when Lee Corso said that Texas Tech was a legit CFP contender last year? That man has lost his mind. He said it like preseason. He said that he liked Texas Tech to come out of the Big 12. He's losing his mind.
I mean, the way I see this, I think Texas Tech will start 5-0 because they get Abilene Christian at Washington State. And maybe that could be a loss. North Texas, Arizona State, and then Cincinnati. And those last 3 are all at home, and then they're at Arizona. So I think they can start 4-1, 5-0. I think they're in that square 5-8 range.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're behind Oklahoma State. If only Patrick Mahomes was still in college, so we didn't have to deal with his bullshit in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree.
I know Phil is done with his bullshit, right? Both of you guys
Yeah,
don't have
both of our
in the division.
Patrick Mahomes,
look, I actually think this is a team that Colorado could replace in 5-8, but I think you should keep them in 5-8.
Yeah, I think there's another team personally that I would probably replace with Colorado in that exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to them later. But yeah, I agree with Texas Tech in that 5-8 spot. I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year. I think after they kind of had that game against Oregon,
go Blue, DK,
where they blew it. They probably should have beat Oregon. By the way, thank you, Texas Tech, for giving us one of the best moments caught live on the Week Zero podcast of Lucas jumping.
Screaming about the
jumping out. I've never seen that man get out of his chair so fast.
We've never seen Lucas do anything with any sort of want or need before.
So yeah, I mean, I think I like that for Texas Tech. Okay.
So UCF went 6-7. So they were a mid team last year.
Yeah.
They were the best. They were the best. If you want to call them the best
context,
of the new teams.
Context, really quick. John Rice Plumlee was injured like half the season last year.
That's true.
So that's why. Those are all dubs.
Colorado at Florida, Cincinnati at Iowa State, BYU, Arizona State, at West Virginia, and then Utah.
So UCF has a pretty damn easy schedule.
Oh, gosh. What are you listening to, Phil?
Oh, you can hear that?
I can hear that.
Sorry.
I can hear that a little bit. I think maybe 6-7 wins again. I just don't know. I don't know who the quarterback is. And is
KJ Jefferson? No,
KJ Jefferson.
Oh God, no! I had KJ Jefferson on my fantasy team last year for the college football, and he shit the bed for me.
Well, no. KJ Jefferson didn't. He didn't shit the bed. Arkansas's offensive line shit the bed.
I'm just gonna say straight up, I have no faith in him to actually do anything. So that dropped my belief in them going forward. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, I'm a KJ Jefferson believer. I think that he was never used properly at Arkansas. He never had an offensive line to protect him. So I would have them higher than Texas Tech. I think UCF's going to take a big step forward this year, maybe go 8-4. So I'm very high on UCF. And you know what? I was high on them last year. I had them in the Big 12 title game last year. Me and Lucas both did.
Well, we need Phil's thoughts then before I move him.
Yeah, UCF. I think that's fine. I think that's one of the teams that I think. Man, yeah, I think they're okay. I think they're better than Texas Tech. But that's just me.
So yeah, swap them with Texas Tech.
Oh, we are? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Swap them with Texas Tech. Okay, Utah went 8-5 last year, but comes in apparently according to FBS schedules as the number 10 team in the country. I think they were.
Yep, that's according to ESPN's preseason.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they have them at 10. Yeah, their toughest stretch is they just have a 2-game stretch versus at Oklahoma State and then versus Arizona. Then they get good Lord, they could go 10 plus wins easy at Arizona, TCU, at Houston, week off, BYU, at Colorado, Iowa State, at UCF.
Watch that at Colorado.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I see them. They're probably. Honestly, I'd probably put them ahead of. Probably put them somewhere there. I think
they're better than Arizona. Just because the schedule says that they're going to be better.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. I personally think Utah is the best team in the Big 12.
Okay.
So they got Cam Rising back, but they also brought in Dorian Singer.
Trying to rely on Cam Rising after.
Hold on. Connor, they also gave him an elite receiver to throw the ball to by the name of Dorian Singer.
They got Singer back from
Dorian Singer.
USC?
Yeah. So
I love this. Singer was at Arizona, then goes to USC, and then goes to Utah. So he's been on 3 former Big 12 teams.
He's lost
teams. They're all
every team he's been on. Every team he's been on. He joined a team that he lost to while a member of that team.
He's just thinking to himself, which team will I be able to actually do well with this year now after my ass whooped?
No, his career is the definition of if you can't beat him, join him.
Anything goes. Also mentioned that Micah Pittman is also healthy.
Yeah, Micah Pittman's also there as well. So they're going to have – this is the first time Cam Rising's actually going to have a decent receiving core at Utah.
Okay.
So that'll be fun to watch. I think that
they're losing to Colorado.
Hey, by the way, that Colorado game
that would be on brand.
That Colorado game is a rivalry game. People don't know that, but it is.
Do they play for a trophy?
Yep, they do, I believe.
All right.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
How about that?
Okay, so we all agreed to have them at number 1.
Yep.
Okay.
I think so.
West Virginia. They were good last year, 9-4.
They were good with Garrett fucking Green.
Garrett Green.
Catalina freaking wine mixer.
Yeah, I mean they blew out North Carolina in the bowl game. Blew out Cincinnati. They lost by 39 to Oklahoma, though. I remember that.
That was a fluke.
That was a fluke. Okay, so West Virginia plays They open the game. Oh, they open the season at home versus Penn State.
Penn State.
Then we get the backyard brawl 2 weeks
I hope
later,
they
playing
win
the
that
other
game,
team,
by the way.
playing the other Pennsylvania team in Pitt. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Back-to-back rivalry
just-
games for them.
No, they get Albany in between, so they get a
Oh,
reprieve.
okay, all right.
But that's gonna be fun. As long as it's not another 13-7 score, we're good. For
Do they
West
still
Virginia.
have that damn running back that was like that broke like multiple West Virginia running back records or some shit?
I don't know.
We were
But,
talking about it on the way to the Ohio State game. I just can't remember the kid's name.
Yeah. Then they have a pretty tough schedule because they have home for Kansas. Whoops. They have home for Kansas, a bye week, at Oklahoma State, Iowa State, home for K-State, at Arizona.
Oh yeah,
That's a tough
brutal.
stretch. That's a tough stretch. But then they close out the season at Cincinnati, Baylor, UCF, at Texas Tech. I don't know if they're going to repeat the same success they had last year because that stretch is difficult. I think they might be slightly better than Texas Tech. I think I'd put them like there. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I just remember when I was working at the news station I was at in West Virginia. I remember early in the season, a few of the people in the station were not happy with how the team was going. So it was kind of funny to see that happening.
That is true. One thing about the West Virginians, they love pepperoni rolls.
Did you not just hear what I said, dude? They went 9-4, DK. Like they were 9-4
they did.
last year. So
Give me some.
DK, get the fuck out of here.
Give me some.
No, so I personally would drop West Virginia and move Colorado up.
I will
and
drop
then-
Texas Tech.
Oh, so we gotta
Now, do you
Either
do
way,
Colorado?
I think we like Colorado 5 through 8.
Yeah, I like Colorado 5 through 8. I mean, I think West
Now,
Virginia
which-
is worse than Texas Tech,
Okay.
but that's just me. Connor, what do
Okay.
you think? Who would you take, West Virginia or Texas Tech?
I think that stretch for West Virginia is harder, and I think that's going to hurt them. So I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
So I'll
So
do that.
now we can kind of mess with it and fix some things if we think that there's a
Okay.
certain order. So
So are we good? Do we think we're good on 1 through 4 at least? Do we think that that's the order? Good, the order, or how do you think?
I think Kansas. I like Kansas over Arizona.
I do too.
Okay. Since
Um,
there's 3 of us, two just need the monopoly or the majority of 2.
I
two-
personally like Kansas over
Over
Kansas State.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. My bad.
Yeah, make them the number 1 damn team in the
There you
conference.
go.
People will lose their
Ryan,
ever
this
living
is not
mind.
Ryan. This is not basketball season. Okay, we're jumping the gun a little too
Oh,
early.
dude. You should have seen the people that were pissed off about our ACC
I
conference.
know people were so
Dude.
people were pissed about about having us at NC State at 6.
Yes.
I'm like 6.
Mm.
Oh my
7.
God, NC
They were
State
like,
fans
how
were
can you have us 6
pissed.
or 7? I'm like, this is just how we see them this season. It's not ranked,
Right.
And
we still
also,
think they're gonna be we still thought they were gonna be like a 9 or 10 win team possibly.
I don't know if you saw our comment section on that video on the pod. We had a dude who wrote 2 full paragraphs about how the ACC was not the weakest conference in college football, and that it's going to be deeper than just about any conference this year.
Come
So-
on.
What
man.
was the conference he said was the weakest?
I think he said the Big 12.
So those were actual shots.
That's actual shots, but I mean,
No,
is-
I was
I think-
talking about the other thing. But yeah.
Oh.
The only thing I can think of is maybe it's just me, but just given how the Big 12 has been the past ever since the CFP started, I just don't see any, and especially now that Oklahoma and Texas are gone, I don't see if any of these teams are actually going to be would be chosen as a true CFP contender. Obviously, if they, whoever's the conference winner makes it, right? But
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people would take Florida State, Clemson, or even maybe a a really good NC State team over one of these teams.
Well, yeah, and it was also a Florida State fan because his other paragraph was about how he's like, I'm already 3 minutes in and I don't appreciate the Florida State slander. And I'm like, we had you guys the number one team. And he said,
what was the slander?
He said that we said that they're not as good as they were last year.
They're not.
He said we're better than we were last year. And I was
they lost so many pieces.
So he was mad because we had him as the number one team in the ACC.
But we still thought they weren't a better team than they were last year.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god. Okay. 1 through 4 were good.
You guys play them this year.
5 through 8
them this year. Yeah.
Any changes to the order of 5 through 8, guys?
What would you say, Phil?
Josh's comment.
Any changes 5 through 8?
Maybe move Texas Tech ahead of Colorado, but I mean it's not that big of a thing. I'm not too worried about it.
I feel good with that. I'll keep Colorado there. Okay. 9 through 12.
Do we think I think West Virginia, Iowa State is fine. The Houston TCU one, it's the battle of the mid. So, I mean, who do you guys like more? Houston or TCU?
Let me go back to their schedules because I think that's always my thing. Let me look at
your
TCU.
go-to.
Let me read off their schedules real quick. So this is TCU's. At Stanford, Long Island, UCF, at SMU, at Kansas, Houston, at Utah, Texas Tech at home, at Baylor, home versus Oklahoma State. Oh God, home versus Arizona, at Cincinnati. They got like they got all the ranked teams in there. Jeez. Plus an SMU team that we all.
Whose schedule is this?
That was TCU's.
BYU is going to beat them. Do they play each other?
No, they don't play BYU. They don't play BYU.
Yeah, they couldn't have the Christians versus the Mormons.
And then Houston. Houston is UNLV or at home versus UNLV, at Oklahoma, home for Rice, at Cincinnati, home for Iowa State, at TCU, at Kansas, home for Utah, home for K-State, bye week, at Arizona, home for Baylor, at BYU.
Hey, put that comment up.
Oh.
Right.
Hey, Unc, you need to go back to bed.
Ryan's missing some shots from Josh's wife.
What's hilarious is I think Ryan and Dallas fan are like equally hated on Twitter, bro.
but Phil, the difference is Notre Dame fans like me.
You said Notre Dame fans.
By the way, some backstory. Unc left the group chat because every Notre Dame fan, there's like 100 of us, disagreed with him, and so he got called out, and then he dipped. So and now like they'll be like, "Hey, Unc's back at it again."
Unc's back at it again. Okay, I switched ECU and Houston because Houston has a much harder stretch. They play at Kansas, home for Utah, home for K-State, a bye week, and then at Arizona. I think that's a tough stretch. I think TCU is better and will finish better.
Yeah.
Now, 13 through 16.
I think Baylor is the best of that group just because of who their quarterback is. DeQuan Finn is the best quarterback out of that group.
Now, who's the worst, though? Is it Arizona? Is it Cincinnati?
Arizona.
Sorry.
Probably Arizona State.
Okay. Any questions or concerns with this? Do we think this is all good now?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's pretty accurate.
It's crazy. They got all three Texas teams: TCU, Houston, and Baylor, right back to back.
Okay, let me do this. So Command Shift 3. Cool. took that screenshot. I'll send that to you, Ryan, so you can mess with that.
The graphic. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Have
make
people
the
getting
graphics
pissed
nice.
about. We'll have West Virginia fans bitching at us saying how they're going to win the Big 12.
Oh no, it's
this
gonna be
year.
fantastic. I'm just glad that we actually have like enough of a following that we now have people pissed off at us. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's weird that people get mad about rankings, like random people's rankings. Like I get the Big 12 stuff or like the Big Game Boomer stuff because that's what he's known for, but like so you give a shit that much about somebody that has no shot at us, but we have 350 followers and you get so bent out of shape that you send your entire fan base to attack this account because you're mad about where we ranked you.
Yeah.
And I told NC State fans, I said, go ask Mississippi State fans when they got pissed at us last year for saying they were going to go 6-6 last year. And they were like, oh no, we're going to go 10-3 or 10-2. And what did they go, like 6-6, I think, or 5-7? Colorado fans got mad at Lucas last year on our page for posting that Colorado was going to go 3-9.
Is this the one?
He said you millennial Notre Dame fans are different.
We're just built different, Unc. We're built different, Unc.
Built different.
All right,
okay.
Connor.
I just sent that, so that is all good. We'll be back. What?
We'll be back next week, or no?
Next week. Okay.
2 weeks. 2 weeks actually.
2 weeks
back
with
in 2 weeks.
10.
The big. No. Wait. Yeah, the Big Ten. We'll do the Big Ten.
Okay. Yeah, Mississippi State fans were mad at us. Yeah.
You're going to do the Big Ten before the SEC?
We're doing it by, I guess, order of how we think of.
Well, who do we think's the best conference, the Big Ten or the SEC?
Well, the national champs reside.
Okay, we'll do the SEC next week. Next show.
Okay, we'll do the SEC. Okay,
Josh, you better be there.
Josh, yeah, no, Josh needs to be there. Josh, you better be there.
SEC.
Josh, you have no excuse. You need to be there so that you can tell us
defend your Kentucky
how wrong
team.
you are placing Kentucky in the 5.
Going through the SEC's champ, by the way. We are the national champ.
How many teams are in the SEC now? Are they up to 16?
37?
37.
No, that's the Big Ten, Phil.
Because it's now ACC is 17. Big 12 is 16.
Meanwhile,
SEC
the Big 12 is taking anyone that needs a home.
SEC is 16. Big 10 is probably what? I think they're at 12, 14 or
the Big 12 is like, bring us your weary and your weak.
No. They're literally the Statue of Liberty. Give us your
No, the Big 12 is the local homeless shelter.
That's a fact. Hey, what Dallas fans said is a fact right here. SEC.
SEC sucks. ACC is better.
SEC is overrated. I know Josh's SEC blood is boiling right now.
Right.
There's only one thing that ever brings SEC fans together, and that is shitting on other conferences. That's the only time you ever see. That's the only time you ever see.
We just stuffed them in a locker for Philip Wright today. So
okay, this has been the Week Zero podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the SEC.